Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me and at Glen Rockney for Glenn as well. And then of course pandasups.com, discount code TDL. Like I said, 35% off. Get you any product on there. Go ahead. He's a Raiders fan, like I said. It's my dude. He supports the channel, so go ahead and support him as well. All right, so we are back. It is week 7. I mean, this NFL season is going by damn fast, like usual. So we're at week 7, and the Raiders are 3-3, and we're going against we're going to the East Coast. We got a 10 a.m. game against the Chicago Bears. All right, so we're going to be looking into that, try to see what we think about the Raiders bets here. You know, you guys, I saw some people give us some shout outs about Michael Mayer last week.
Oh, yeah.
We did definitely hit on that one. Michael Mayer really did made us look really good. Had a couple starts there. So what are your initial thoughts on this game, Glenn? I feel like this is a 1 a.m. game that could maybe be a little scary. I'm upset about it. This is that typical Raiders game. You're like, man, they should win this game, and then it's like,
yeah. No, you're right. It's one of those games. Look, it's winnable. They have, you look at. I made a statement the other day on Twitter that some people got not like mad about, but they just. I remember somebody said that like. Kirk Cousins, somebody made a thing like, what if Kirk Cousins was the Raiders quarterback next year? I said, well, laugh all you want. They'd be 5-1 with him this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I think it's objectively true. I think it's objectively true that he would have beat the Steelers and the Chargers. I think that would have happened. So anyways, the reason I said that is because people go, well, the Vikings are 1-5. And then I said, yeah, but they've played like some of the best teams in football. The Raiders really haven't played anybody that good. And that's not happening until next week. So the Bears are not good. They're facing this D2 guy, which kind of scares me a little bit. This Tyson Bagent guy, just a little bit. But they should win. And I like the way their defense is playing right now. Yeah. And I noticed when I saw Tyson Bagent come in the game last game, they just put 5 wide out there and no back there to block for him. It was insane. And then he got rocked. So I'm kind of like, let's just send the dogs at him and see what happens. That's kind of how I feel, because I think you're going to need a sack fumble. You're going to need a pick 6. I'm calling a Marcus Peters interception in this game. Marcus Peters specifically. I think it's time. I think this is the kid to do it against the veteran. The wily veteran can just jump routes against them. And they should win. Let's dominate. Like Hoyer threw the ball down the field last week. So that was amazing. I mean, like to say that it's sad, like Jimmy's out. And I remember being sad when Jason Campbell broke his collarbone in like 2010 or 2011 or something like that. I was at the game where it happened. He slid forward and we just didn't know what happened. And that was the season right there. And then they trade 2 first-round picks for Palmer. When Jimmy got hurt, I was just like, all right. And then when just the game kept going, I was just, all right. And so that at least we're there. At least we're there. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, at least we're there. I think Brian Hoyer. It's kind of crazy after watching him on film. It's like he's probably the best quarterback on the team, which is terrible to say and really awful to say. And I was not shocked that he was going to start. I knew just watching him on film, he kind of just ran the offense basically how Josh McDaniels wants it to be run. So he's going to go out there, and if they can put together a pretty good game plan, they should be able to put up some points because he'll at least throw the ball downfield. He has the willingness to do it. Even if he doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, he's going to chuck it downfield, at least try to. They can try to extend the field with even Devontae Adams or Trey Tucker. You can see them maximizing more of the speed that they have on this team with Brian Hoyer. So that's the only beneficial thing. Maybe Aiden O'Connell probably would have tried to do the same thing and try to throw the ball downfield. I mean, he did in the preseason, but you kind of knew once they went 3-3, and they have a chance to kind of win this game, it would be like 4-3 and kind of put some like over on it. We won 3 in a row. Right. All those things are very positive. You knew Brian Hoyer was going to start.
And rightfully so. I will say, like, people are clowning McDaniels, and like I would have gone with O'Connell. You asked me, I go with O'Connell, but like maybe he's on the hot seat. You know what I mean? And maybe it's kind of like, look, I can't have a quarterback that might fumble again. And look, famous last words, maybe Hoyer fumbles, maybe he throws interceptions, but at least he I thought Hoyer, what he did more than anything was throw the ball down the field and trust the protection. He trusted the protection last week. He didn't panic. He didn't drift like Jimmy. He trusted the protection, kept his eyes upfield because the protection played great. They're playing a team that doesn't have any better of a pass rush than the team they played last week. So it's not, when they play the Lions, it'll be a lot different. But I'm just saying he trusted the protection, threw it downfield. What if they score 24 points in this game and win? Like what? How are you feeling, Raider Nation? That's what I wonder. This is the strangest season thus far. Like it's the strangest season I've seen since I don't know ever. This is so weird. I don't know how to. I think this is the most talented Raider team, sans the quarterback, that I've seen in a long time. There's actually some good young players with upside that we haven't seen the ceiling of yet. We're not just squeeze out James Jones type receptions or these guys that we already know that are known quantities. These are young guys that could really Mayer, Tucker, even Tyree. I'm still a Tyree guy. Like Tyree, some of these guys can really maximize and grow this season, and perhaps they are a good team.
Yeah, maybe. I think with Brian Hoyer too. It's kind of funny that I saw some stat on Twitter. I guess he's is the only Bears quarterback to have like 4 300 yards games in a row. So this might be a revenge game for him, man. They let him go after he played really well, got injured. Might be a revenge game for Brian Hoyer. So go out there and caught a ball out there. And the thing is with him, when I watched him on film, it just looked like how a quarterback should look when he has this much talent around him on offense. That's all it was.
That's the good part. That's the good part is that like I'm actually really happy to see that there's a lot of avenues for a quarterback to go to, which is why Jimmy is so frustrating. It's like you can go anywhere with the ball. It's there. There's even if McDaniels is a little bit predictable, we have guys that can beat one-on-one. Most teams don't have 4 guys that can cover 4 weapons. A lot of teams don't. And the O-line pass protects well enough. They're a little hot and cold, I suppose, but they do well enough. And I get why people want O'Connell. I get it. I do too. We're not getting fired next year. We're Raider fans for life. I actually think McDaniels, after the Steelers and Chargers games, I think he had a Mark Davis just won a title with the WNBA. Say what you will about that. Whatever.
2 in a row. 2 in a row. His second in a row.
He was dancing. It was beautiful to see, but it also made me a little sad because I'm like, man, Mark's been waiting for this kind of like to be like his dad and be like, we're the best team in the league. You know what I mean? So I think right now Mark that's good that he won a title there because he can go to McDaniels and be like, what are you doing, loser? You know what I mean? Like go win some football games. And I think McDaniels is going with the known quantity. If they were 2-4 right now, Aiden O'Connell would be starting, I think.
I know Mark Davis is the greatest owner in WNBA history now, so he's back-to-back. Build super teams over there.
Did you see that? Not him, but I think it was Asia Wilson. Or that's who's on the team, right? Is it Asia Wilson?
Yeah.
They're like, and the thing they're like, yeah, we won last year, and people were like coming at us and talking crazy, and I was like, who? Like, I didn't even know you guys won last year. I was like, I just trying to imagine a WNBA like hater, you know what I mean? Like like in the league, But whatever. Anyways.
No, I just think Josh McDaniels kind of fooled. I mean, probably in the interview, he fooled Mark Davis, to be honest. Because honestly, I had this conversation with somebody else. I don't think Mark Davis is a terrible owner because I think he treats the players so good. I mean, if you follow Isaac Rochelle on TikTok, man, the way that he treats those players, man, there's no reason why they don't have free agents coming over here.
I love
it, right? And the thing, a part of that, if I feel like if they get a good coach, and the way he treats the players and the facilities and the food and the way he does it when they go on the road and all the things he offers them, if they get a good coach, they can bring some really good free agents here. And I think Josh McDaniels and Dave Zitter, they got really cheap, right? They're super cheap here, and they didn't bring in like the guys that they could have brought in who just come in here and they see the facility, the food, and all that stuff. The NFL players, they're not gonna like always want to win type of guys all the time. You can press them with the facility, the weight room, all the other stuff. You get some players in here. So
I think you're right. I think you're right. And I think McDaniels was another Gruden, right? It was another Gruden in a sense that he wore a visor. At one point, he was the hot offensive mind, at one point in football. He winning program. I think he got a little bit lazy with his hire. So I will say, whatever the next coaches, let's say McDaniels doesn't survive the year, because I do actually think, unfortunately, if the Raiders don't end well this year, I do think he's gone. I'm starting to see that a little bit. I do think Mark's going to go a little hard, and he only needs to get lucky once. All he has to do is get not lucky. I just mean pick somebody pretty good, and he's there for years and years and years, and Mark will be loyal to him, because I think Mark's down to have the same coach for 10 years if they're just pretty good and solid and create a good environment. So it's just, yeah, I agree. Delusional Westbrook fan. No more visors. I have a Raiders visor. I love my visor, but I guess what? I wouldn't hire me to coach the Raiders either. So don't do it. Don't do it. I agree. We want a baseball hat, Kyle Shanahan baseball hat next time.
Exactly. All right, so let's just check out some of the best we had last week. So Adams was the under. Yeah, Adams just didn't get any targets.
No,
that pissed me off on film. I'm like, he's not getting double teamed. Why are we not throwing him the ball? That bothered the hell out of me watching that one. Jacoby Myers, he actually went over on both of these and actually got an anytime touchdown. Jacoby Myers. So I mean, that was somebody that Jimmy was leaning on last week. Josh Jacobs. He actually hit the overs, man. He hit the overs on this.
Yeah.
I mean, the yards per carry still was, iffy.
Yeah.
But he hit the overs. He got over 75 yards. I still think he looks good. His run blocking just sucks. The run blocking.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs is averaging like a skimpy eighth. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
If you don't get that joke, then you probably have a better job than me right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So exactly. So I mean, but he's probably gonna hit these again. I think they're gonna try to run the ball as much as possible. The Bears defense is terrible. That's why this game is so weird to me, because the Bears are just bad. Okay, they're bad on offense. They can. The thing is, they can run the football though. And they got Mr. Journeyman Dante Foreman, who's Mr. I get paid week 2 and get 900 yards. So he's there, and he ran the ball really hard last week. Man, it's gonna be interesting to see how they play this game. But of course, Garoppolo, he actually went right under both of these because he got hurt. But they were throwing the ball a lot last week, and they didn't score a lot of points, which was frustrating. And then, of course, our main man, Michael Mayer, bro.
Got beautiful.
The man. That was beautiful. So let's get into this week, though. We got some people in here. We get starting to get in here, right? So let's get into this week. Let's start off with Mr. Hoyer, who actually he was late to DraftKings. He just made it. He just made it late. Just finally got his numbers up. Vegas couldn't wait. They could not wait until that announcement came. It was like 10 minutes later, Glenn. I swear to God. I checked 10 minutes later. His passing yards and stuff was up. Some of these things were changing really quick. So passing yards, 218.5. Passing touchdowns, 1.5. Passing interceptions, 0.5. Really didn't have anything more than that. But I'm hitting the overs on all of these. I am. I'm hitting the overs on all of these. I think Hoyer is going to play pretty well. And then we're going to play next week against the Lions. And then we're going to then it comes make sense. Because the Raiders should win this game. If the Raiders don't win this game, man, I'm going to be very frustrated. And then McDaniel's going to be in trouble. Because I don't care if it's on the road. I know he has never won at 10 a.m. I think it's going to be a big game for him and his offense. This defense is terrible for the Bears. So, I with these weapons and, Adams getting more healthy, Jacoby Myers, I feel like that, Hoyer should at least get over 218 yards and have some bigger plays. He had a pretty good YPA last week. So hopefully I'm going to take the under interceptions, though. I don't think he's going to throw a pick. I don't think he's going to throw one.
Huh. Okay. First off, weren't Jimmy's pass yards overs like Vegas? Vegas thinks Jimmy stinks, which, look, where's the lie? But was that 218? Do I have that number?
218.5. That's 218.5.
Jimmy's were like 222, right? Or something.
Right, 233, 222. Yeah, around there. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Show me where the backup, any other team, the backup is going to be like 60 yards off at least. If the backup started, like Tyson Bagent and Justin Fields numbers are not going to be the. I
think Tyson Bagent is 180.
Yeah, right. And Justin Fields is probably like 238, 240 around there, I would think.
Yeah.
So in a typical game, passing touchdowns is interesting. I want to say over. I also could see a lot of. I kind of think there's going to be a Josh Jacobs game because I like the fact that Hoyer. I think what the Raiders are going to do is they're going to open it up early, take a shot to Adams downfield. Understand that this isn't Jimmy. They're going to take their shots over their head, whether you complete them, deep interception, anything like that. then I think it opens it up for Jacobs. Even though I know I watch you and Matt's streams during the week, which are great, but I understand what you guys are saying, that there's probably a tell somewhere in the run game. I also just think teams straight up cheat against the Raiders because they're like, whatever, what are you going to do, throw a slant? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to throw a slant over my head if I stack the box? Like, I think they're going to spread the teams out the way that they actually should with all these weapons. So the over, I could see the over on yards. Passing touchdowns, I'm going to say under. I think he just has one touchdown, and I think Jacobs gets 2. And so that's a preview into Jacobs stuff. I think he throws one pick. Yeah, not a game breaker or anything. Just one pick, deep interception. Like a punt or something. I could see him doing that. Feeling himself a little bit. Like
same type of thing. Yeah, I could see him doing that too. Especially with I think Hoyer. He just understands the offense a little bit better than what I would say the other guys do. And he's been in the offense so long. It looks like he's bored out there running the offense. Not something that it's just something that he just does really easily. Right. And it's not pretty. I'm not going to lie to you guys. He's a backup, right? He is a backup, but he's run this offense for so long. He actually made the playoffs in his offense, and the Texans running with Bill O'Brien. He just understands what the hell to do with the football. And that's why they should be able to beat a team like this with him. And it's terrible to say, but I still feel like he's the best quarterback on this team. And I think O'Connell has the potential to be better than him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right now on October 22nd, when they play, Hoyer right now is the best quarterback on the team for that day. And here's the thing, if they lose this game, I think O'Connell's starting the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I think they say they dodged a bullet or whatever. I think he's still pretty damn hurt. I don't know. The way they're talking about Jimmy, I don't see that healing as fast as, what people would say. If they lose this game, for one, you lost to the Bears. You kind of stink, so you might as well play the rookie.
He doesn't Tyson bench it.
Exactly. And that's embarrassing. That'll be embarrassing. Chicago has a big media team behind their team, and they'll be excited. I know they kind of want to lose for the pick, but they'll get excited if a scrappy backup beats the Raiders and they come in. It'll get embarrassing, and I even think Mark might pull the trigger if it's bad enough. If they lose,
oh man,
he might. I'm just saying, if it's bad enough. I don't think Mark can't handle a lot more embarrassment. I think it really hurts his feelings, especially after just winning. He's feeling himself. Like I say, he just won. He's feeling himself a little bit.
Yeah, he's never won a 10 a.m. game, or early game, or whatever you want to call it, with the Raiders. They've never gone on the road and won an early game. All of them they've lost. The last one they did this year, they lost 38-10.
Sure.
So that's what I'm a little worried about with this game more than anything is can they go on the road? I was talking about on last TDL how he's only won 3 road games, 2 of them against the Broncos. It's gonna be a little bit interesting with this one. It's gonna be interesting. All right, so we go Jacobs this week. Josh Jacobs didn't have rush attempts. We got rush yards though. We got 74.5. They went up a little bit. They believe in Josh. Josh.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
The receiving yards, I'm over every single time. I still think Hoyer's gonna get some checkdowns to him. I think Hoyer's gonna get some checkdowns to a guy we're gonna talk to about later on as well. But I think Josh. I keep telling he's gonna have that one game. I can feel it because he keeps busting out a little bit, breaking out, having some big runs, having some longer runs every single week. I think there's a chance he has that breakout game. Receiving yards, of course, I take it. Anytime touchdown, I think that's easy. 2+ touchdowns is a pretty good one too. 2+ touchdowns for Josh. Even when I talk about Hoyer getting 2 touchdowns, that's 28 points. I am saying this Raiders team is better than score some damn points on this Bears team. So if Josh McDaniels feels like he's a genius, like he says he is, I need at least 28 points on these boys. So I might take the 2 touchdowns, Josh Jacobs. That's what I'm taking. 2 touchdowns, Brian Hoyer. That's how I'm looking at this.
Yeah, I am like Jaws, the shark in the water after those 2 TDs. That 2 TDs plus 550. You might remember last week Mayer was plus 500 over 50. So I'm going to ride that hot streak for the plus 500s. I think it makes sense if you think this is a strategy here. Anytime TD is minus 110. 2 TDs is plus 550 for a running back who's definitely getting the ball first down in the red zone every single time. So if you think he's going to score 1 touchdown, you will technically not make your bet back in winnings because it's minus 110. But 2 TDs, you can 5x your bet. That's a discrepancy to me in a line for Vegas. And he looks better. Like, he just looks better. I understand. Like I said, I made the little weed joke about him. Like, I get that, but that's not on him. I think Matt said in one of the TDL episodes that he's not like, he has less than a yard before contact, almost like he's just getting hit.
It's bad, bro.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, he doesn't have a chance to get a motor going, like to get downhill where we know he's special and in the open field. And I think his reception yards, that's an easy over. I will take that every single week. I think, especially with Hoyer, he's going to look to dump it off to Jacobs a lot. I think that's a veteran quarterback move, understanding that Jacobs is a free 8 yards on first down, at least when you pass it to him. I'm over rushing yards, over receiving yards. I'm not taking any time touchdown. I am taking the 2 touchdowns. I mean, I guess you could take both, but I think he's going to have 2. I think it'd be a huge game, similar to like Seattle last year. Huge game.
Yeah, I think he's having a big game too. I think it's going to be a chance. And they're running more outside zone this week. I think they're going to keep pushing for that because they have a zone offensive line. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you run power and don't get a bunch of fat guys. Like, you got these slim, fit dudes. Like, no, we need some fat guys if you're going to do power. And we don't have any fat men. We just got pure, slim guys, that are 300 pounds. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to work for power football. It's not. We need the Gabe Jackson fat dudes. Kalechi, the fat guys. You know what I mean? And we don't have those to run power. So they got to keep running the zone and mix it up that way.
Yeah, you're going to get a Baldy's breakdown on Jacobs this week. Watch. Look at Josh. He's going to take his arm. He's going to go, that's my jugular vein. That's mine. I'm eating it in my soup tomorrow. Like, he's going to be doing that. He's stiff-arming him. He's putting him into the ground. You're buried. You're dead. Yeah, he's going to be doing that. You're going to get a job. It's going to be one of those games. Mark my words.
No, all right. We're striving with Jacobs, though. I am riding with Jacobs on that one for sure. All right, Devontae Adams, right? This one, I'm striking everything. He might get both touchdowns because he said, "Throw me the ball" in his press conference. So if I was a fan and I was doing my bets, I'm taking the plus 70 because it's hilarious that it's 67.5 receiving yards is his over under, but his plus 70 is negative 110. So you're like, okay. So take the over on his yards, especially for Adams. You got to take that. Anytime touchdown, I think he's going to get a lot of targets this week. He basically told Josh, you better throw me the damn ball this week. I'm tired of you guys. So, Glenn, what are you thinking on Devontae Adams?
Yeah, first off, with his comments, I loved that he said it. I loved it. This team is not scoring points. They are winning games. That is all that matters. Just win, baby. I get it. Mm-hmm. But they're not winning sustainably. And anybody who's ever been on a winning team before understands that that's not how you win games sustainably. So he's like, throw me the ball. Let's blow some teams out. Let's laugh at some of these guys. Let's laugh at some of these teams we play. And I think Hoyer's going to get it to him. I think Hoyer understands. He's been in this league long enough. He's played with Larry Fitzgerald out in Arizona. He's played with like number ones before.
Yeah.
And just understood what happens when you have a like Hall of Fame receiver. He's been DeAndre Hopkins in Houston. Like, he's had these guys and he'll feed them. Like, he'll feed them. I'm not saying they're going to be the best passes in the world. He's going to feed them, though. And they don't have to be. And that's what we've been saying to Jimmy. Like, just throw it to him. And look, last week, I get his frustration. I think he was more mad at Jimmy kind of setting him up to get killed more so than not being the featured chess piece in the offense because they were bracketing him. It's classic Belichick. Belichick's going to do it to Diggs this week. That's just what he does. But this week, man, they're going to have Jalen Johnson on him, who's having a terrible season. And this will be the best wide receiver that besides, that he's facing because he didn't face Justin Jefferson last week. So it's like I think he's gonna cook. I think he's used to owning the Bears. He's used to walking into that stadium and just leaving with a victory.
Yeah.
So let's go do it.
Yeah, I believe that he's got a big game because he basically demanded the football. And last week, it didn't make any sense because he wasn't getting double teamed that much.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing like these small brackets, but nothing underneath where he couldn't get the football and they couldn't throw him the ball. That's why, Brian Hoyer in his 2 drives, he did try to get some targets to him. Most of the targets that came in the game came when Brian Hoyer's in the game. But, Hoyer missed him in the red zone. It was funny. Like, every single throw that Hoyer missed was in the red zone. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this team in that area. But he was money, and they got inside the 20, and then he looked just disgusting. He couldn't do it. He couldn't get it done again. So I don't know what the hell is wrong with this team in the red zone, but they got to figure it out. They got to get Michael Mayer involved or something.
Yeah. And it's good that I think it's good to have those winning expectations on your team, like the Adams, because who never said on press conference, throw me the football? Amari Cooper, right? And that was always our issue with Amari Cooper, was like, he's a good wide receiver. Nobody thinks he's bad. It's just you want that guy. It's like, hey, I'm the best player on this team. And if you want to score 20 points on offense for the first time by week 7, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, throw it up to me. I'll make a play. And I'm just excited about it. I hit the overs on all that stuff. Damn, I'm getting cooked in the comments on my appearance. Damn, I am kidding. Look, you know what? Like, I do like Jesus Christ. I do like Jesus. He is my Lord and Savior. So, smoking cigarettes in the Bible is bad. So whatever, that's your opinion, man. Anyways.
All right, let's get it. All right, Jacoby Myers. All right, Jacoby Myers. So Jacoby Myers, I think this is really low for him this week too. Especially 3.5. I mean, I don't know. I guess expecting a big play from Jacoby. Jacoby's so frustrating on tape. He's like, it's like one good play, and then he just like runs then he drops the ball. He's weird to watch on film. And then for some reason he loves pass interference.
Yes, he does.
I don't know what's up with that. I mean, I guess it happens. You run like a 4.69. You got to do pass interference all the time. I don't know, but I do kind of like the over in receptions. I don't know if he gets a touchdown. I feel like the red zone is going to be Adams happy this week. I think they're just going to fades and slants, whatever, to get to Adams the ball. But maybe if if Jacobs doesn't hit 2 touchdowns, maybe he gets one of the touchdowns. But plus 70, plus 210. I mean, that's something maybe somebody wants to take. But I'm definitely taking the over on receptions, receiving yards. Yeah, I'll take the over on receiving yards too. What about you? What are you looking at this, Glen?
I mean, look at his chance for a touchdown with the change in quarterbacks has doubled. Like has gone down, I should say. Like 2x. Like he with Jimmy, that's like plus 150 probably. Like because and I would take it, but I think you're right. I think Hoyer's going to feed Adams this week. I think he's going to. Like I feel like the chat and I feel like I'm like, damn, am I like hyping up Hoyer like crazy right now? I'm not. I'm just saying I think where he's going to throw the ball. I'm not saying what the end result's going to be. We're just talking about where the ball's going to go. That's how you bet these games. It's not how many yards does Adams have because Hoyer made great throws. It's who gets the most targets. And I'm a little down on Myers this week, although I think he's been a great addition to this team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I think he's been really good. I don't mind the OPIs here and there because, again, like, he's not big, he's not fast, he's not strong. He's gonna have to get an edge here and there. And look, I think he's gotten away with a couple too. So hey, whatever, let it go. I think he's got decent hands. And plus 70 to 210. Yeah, none of those excite me. Maybe the over on receptions sounds okay to me. I think that would be the only one I'd go over on.
Yeah. I see somebody talk about did he have a drop? Not this past week. I'm just like overall during the season, like he can. It's like he'll win. Like he had a great route last week, and then sometimes he doesn't win, and sometimes he drops the ball he shouldn't, and then sometimes he does pass interference. He's just a little. He's just not. Sometimes it shows like, oh, he could be a great receiver, and then he comes down like, oh, you're number 2.
I think he's worth. I think he's worth the money that he's getting paid, though. I do think that 11 mil a year, great number 2, high end number 2, and understands that he's not a number 1. He will never be like, "Why'd you throw Devontae the ball?" I was wide. No, he's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm just here. Let me do my thing. I'm gonna block. I'm gonna catch the ball if you throw it to me.
Yeah.
I might not know where the first down marker is, but you know what I'm gonna do. That's all good. Yeah." Right. I like him. I'm a huge fan of what he's done this year.
Yeah. He's having a good year. He really is. And he's finding his way. And like I said, he's a great number 2. I think when you have a guy that definitely a solid number 2, it's just if Adams went down, I don't know if he could, like, sometimes you want your number 2, like, let's say, of course I'm not gonna use the Bengals, but T. Higgins, right? If Adams went down, we had T. Higgins, he could like step into number 1 role. I don't know if Myers could do that. That's my only thing with him. But that's why we got the next guy, Michael Mayer. He is in full effect. He's starting. I was excited to see that. I'm like, okay, we're actually getting some starting reps. We're done with the Austin Hooper. I don't know why they think Austin Hooper can block or he can play or start right now. I don't know what they're doing, but we finally got smart and we got Michael Mayer involved in this game. And I'm hitting over on all these, right? I'm hitting over on the receptions and I'm hitting over on the yards. Touchdown, maybe. I mean, you might take a chance because all it takes with a tight end is a bootleg on the 1 yard line. That's all it takes for the tight end. Bootleg 1 yard line, right there, wide open. It's all it takes. I think they need to get him involved in the red zone because I think he's a big body and he has great hands and he's just physical as you could tell when you watch him. I was pissed at Jimmy Garoppolo that he turned that he had him on the corner route. All you do is give him a little soft throw. CJ Stroud did the same damn thing to Dalton Schultz. That's all he had to do with Michael Mayer. Just do a little toss. Michael Mayer would have did the same damn thing. And I think that's somebody you could look at in the red zone. They got to get him more involved there. But I'm hitting the over on the yards and receptions. He can get the yards on one play. So
what? I cannot believe how low this is. I think because look, one thing Hoyer's going to know is that when I see a big I think Hoyer knows that he's not that good, right? The Hoyer knows that he's like I am what I am. I'm 40 years old. You know, I can't even keep hair on my head. Like there's a lot of limitations, and he knows what he is. But he also knows that when you see a guy who's got a little bit of separation and he's 6'5", that is your best chance of completing a pass. At sometimes is just throwing it to him. Yeah, you're right. That's. I would say I'll break that down between two receptions there. So I will say this: if you take his over in receptions, take the yards too, because I don't understand how you think he's going to get 3 receptions and under 20 yards. So or under 21 yards. That's 7 yards a reception, like perhaps, but the chances of that not great. So if you're going over on receptions, take the over on yards. Anytime touchdown, I'm not quite there yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I'll say that much. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see. I just want one of his first career touchdown. I want it to be one of those ones where it's like a bootleg, and then he's on the backside wide open. Everyone forgot to cover him, and he just catches it, and Gronk spikes it. They called him Baby Gronk at Notre Dame. Now he's in a Patriots system, and he doesn't even like it. He said in his conference, he was like, "We're the Raiders. I don't care what the Patriots did. I'm my own person. I'm not Rob Gronkowski, even though I picked number 87. I'm not Rob Gronkowski, but you know what? He's damn good."
Yeah, we saw this week, man. His potential, bro. Because even if McDaniels is gone, you know what I mean. Michael Mayer is still going to be here. Great pick, Dave. Great pick.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. I'm telling you, I messaged you right when it happened. I was like, we did it. Like that was the one. I was like, that's the pick you needed to make. You did it. And somebody said, is he better than Foster Moreau? 100%.
100%.
Did you watch the Thursday? Foster Moreau did a great job recovering from a disease. I liked him with the Raiders. Thought I had no issue with him whatsoever. I thought they were fine to let him walk. It's just not a guy that you pay. Just not one of those guys.
Yeah.
Michael Mayer, I think, is going to be a 10-year pro in this league. And I think you're going to see some really fun yards after the catch stuff that people still don't understand that he's capable of, is all I'll say.
Yeah. I don't understand. I think people don't understand that he has top 5 tight end potential. And I think that's the biggest thing that I really like with him. That he has top 5 that potential that is just great. You know what I'm saying?
It looks like he's getting better at blocking though, right? I mean, I watch your guys' breakdowns. It looks like he's not getting beat as much. Like it looks like he's kind of staying up. I mean, like looks like he's getting a little better there.
Yeah, he's getting better blocking too. He's really pushing to become a better blocker, and I think there's a lot of growth there, and that's why I really like him. Because
rookie tight ends is tough. Like that is one of the toughest positions. I remember like TJ Hawkinson wasn't very good his rookie year. A lot of guys aren't. It's a tough position to play in the NFL your rookie year, and I think he's doing a nice job.
Yeah, the thing is like he is ready to go as a receiver already. Though we saw it this week. Like if he didn't block, he's catching the ball. He's making guys miss. He's putting his head down, running people over.
Austin Hooper tried to jump over somebody.
Just think about year 3. The Raiders have him under contract, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Forget Josh McDaniels. The Raiders have that guy under contract. Just think about him year 3, man.
Dude, and you notice Austin Hooper tried to jump over somebody. Like he got scared. He was like, "Oh, Michael's here. I gotta keep my." Because they have that weird thing where, because I thought it was Mayer when it happened.
Yeah,
1 and 7 look a lot alike, and they're big white guys. So I was like, oh man, I was like, did Hooper, was that Mayer trying to jump over something? Like, come on, dummy, like that's not your game. And I was like, oh, that's Hooper trying to keep his job.
Right. It is. Exactly. All right. So the final game lines here: Raiders at Bears. Raiders are favored negative 2.5, right? And point total 37.5. Money line negative 142. This game, man, they better win this damn game. That's how I feel about it. This is one of those. This is how I felt about it last week. This is how I feel about it this week. They better win this damn game. And I'm taking that spread. And to be honest, I'm taking the point total too. I think they're going to score some points, kind of get everybody a little bit excited, right? Get some excitement going. Maybe Brian Hoyer is good. Maybe those type of things. Maybe have that type of excitement for Raiders fans, right? Maybe Brian Hoyer is it, because Raider fans, as soon as you get a win, the positivity gets overwhelmed, especially if the quarterback plays well, right? So I think it might be one of those weeks where we say, people get really hyped for Brian Hoyer, and maybe he gets humbled next week against a really damn good Lions team. But we're playing the Bears this week.
Yeah.
Let's go out there, Josh McDaniels, and get it done if you're a good damn coach. I don't care where it's at. This team is not good enough to beat the Raiders right now. So, So how do you feel about it?
First off, let me give some credit to Max Crosby for last week, because Max Crosby sealed a lot of bets last week and won one play. So I said take the under. That was my lock. Max Crosby sealed the cover and the under in one play. So there's a saying in gambling: good teams win, great teams cover. Good players win. Great players cover. And man, that was insane. If you've ever been in a lit sports book, and you will see people so mad at that play because they thought either if you had the Patriots cover, there was a chance they could have got a big drive come in, or that could have been a safety sack fumble pick. No, he sealed the deal. Now this week, I think Raiders will cover. I think the over is going to hit. I think they're going to give up a couple fluky touchdowns. I think I see this being like a 24-14 Raiders win is what I see in this game. Like a couple fluky touchdowns, maybe one turnover on the Raiders that puts the Bears in plus territory, something like that. I think they win by 10 this week, and I think it goes over 24-14, just slightly over. But I think that point total is weird because with Jimmy it would go up like another 3 points, and I don't think that would be justified. I think the difference between Hoyer and Jimmy is not a lot. In fact, Hoyer might be a little better right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think too. That's what I'm saying. They better go out there and win this game. Like I said, I don't care where it's at. They got to go out there and get it done, especially if they want to try to. The AFC is kind of up in the air right now. I mean, there's so many teams crumbled up in there. If they can win this game, they got a tough game the next week. They can't look past this game. Right? Because if they win this game, and even if they lose next week, then they got the Giants the next week, they can still find a way to get back over 500 or 5-4. They're at a pretty good spot at the halfway point of the season. I don't know when their bye is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they're at
week 13.
Okay, so it's pretty later. So they are at a good spot halfway through the season, right? At that point. So this is a key game to me. They got to pull this one out. They're the better team. We'll see what they do, though, man. I just hope they don't go out there and just lay an egg. That's my biggest fear, or just allow Dante Foreman to go for 200 yards rushing. That's what I'm scared of. He's just
you gotta create a negative game script. I said this on your post today. You have to create a negative game script. If you're up early, if you're up 13-0 on the Bears, change the way they play the game. We want the dropbacks. We want the Tyson Bagent reckless throws. That's what we want. That is how we want the game to go. We don't want a 13-10 Raider game where they're up 13-10 in the middle of the third quarter, where Dante Foreman's eating 6 yards a carry, and we're like, man, Dante Foreman just bought himself another 5 years in the league, and we're because of what he did to the Raiders right there. That's not what we want. That's what the Raiders have been doing all year, and it's time to grow. The defense needs to grow. The defense needs to understand that your backup quarterback's in, and Marcus Peters needs to jump a route. Yes, be wrong one time. You have some good safeties behind you. Be wrong. Yeah. Bite on one time. Maybe you might get a little lucky and catch it. Not like the Steelers game. Catch the ball.
Yeah. And Morey's balling, man.
Yes, he is.
Morey's top 10 safety in the NFL.
Pay him.
Morey's top 10 safety in the NFL right now.
Pay him.
He is growing. Man, that is a damn good player.
Agreed.
You're right. You're right, Glenn. All right, let's go to some NFL game lines. Let's switch from the Raiders. Let's go to some game lines here. So we got Lions at Ravens. There's only 4 good games this week. The Falcons and Bucks
Yeah.
really not a great game, but I ran out of games.
That'll be close. Yeah,
it'll be all right, I guess. So we got Lions at Ravens, Dolphins at Eagles, Chargers at Chiefs, and Falcons at Bucks. Now, the game that I really am looking at, I'm looking at this Dolphins at Eagles. I think it's interesting that the Eagles are so favored on this one, -3. I guess -3 at home is kind of a little bit of a wash, according to Vegas. And if you're a gambler, a little bit of a wash, but still, they're favored on the money line. I think the Dolphins are a way better team than them. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Eagles kind of hold up with what the Dolphins do. Which one of these games are you looking at here, Glenn?
I think you're wrong about that game. Okay. I think the Dolphins. First off, the Dolphins have not beaten anybody good this year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Not beaten anybody good this year. The one time they ran up against a team that was more physical than them was the Buffalo Bills, and they looked stupid. They looked like a young little peewee team out there. Like they look like just these little fast little Toy Story, like the little three-eyed aliens in Toy Story that you pick out of the machine. That's what they look like against them. And I think Jalen Carter should be coming back this week. I think one of the DBs is coming back this week. The Eagles can go 8 deep on the defensive line. And if Tua's not rolling out every play, good luck keeping him in that pocket, waiting for that deep shot to open up. Because I think we'd see Mike White at some point in that game if that happens.
Yeah,
I like Dolphins money line, and I would parlay it with the Lions money line because I don't understand why the Ravens are favored in that game.
I think the Dolphins win that game because the Dolphins can run the ball and the Eagles can't stop the run.
You're right. You're right there. Mostert is the key in that game.
Yeah, and Devon Etchen is playing out of his mind. So because that's how the Dolphins mix it up. They're really a running football team. Mike McDaniel mixes it up so much with the run game, and he does so many creative things as a running designer that's why I believe that he can kind of mix it up and get some big plays against the Eagles because they can't stop the run.
But can the Dolphins stop the Eagles? Their defense is not good.
The Eagles' offense is kind of
you're right
now.
But I think DeAndre Swift behind that line. I think Lane Johnson might come back this week. If that happens, I'm just like that. Besides Christian Wilkins, that against the run, a physical run attack with a dual threat quarterback. I don't know. This will be interesting to come back to next week after this game because I think I disagree hardcore with you on that one. I don't want to remind you of last week when you said when you tweeted prematurely why are the Cincinnati Bengals favored again over the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not saying I paid attention to that. I'm just saying the more physical team wins a lot of times. I think right now, I think the Eagles. I just think the Dolphins. We've been watching them play a lot of teams that let them do their little finesse game, and I think the Eagles will come out there. They'll take the 15-yard penalty to hit Tua a couple times. They don't care. They're going to go out there and they're going to hit him.
If he's hurt, then I take it back. I take it back a little bit.
All right.
I take it back a little bit. I still think I don't know. The Eagles. I mean, because who did they lose to last week? They lost to the Jets, right?
The Jets, a physical team, a physical football team.
Football team.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins are a finesse football team. You're right. We'll see how Vic Fangio mixed it up. I still kind of like the Dolphins.
I'm not going to be shocked if you're right. I'm just saying. I think so. It's Dolphins at Eagles.
At Eagles, yes.
At Eagles. Dolphins are a lot better at home. I think they've played they just look better at home.
Yeah.
Philly, I think, look, I know the weather should be fine. I looked up the weather. It's going to be like 58 at night. That's not bad at all. And I just think that 3 points, I'll take the 3. I'll lay the 3. I would do Lions +3 or Lions money line and a Philly -3. That would be a fun 2-team parlay, and I probably will take that, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't understand the Lions one because the Ravens haven't looked that impressive.
No.
I don't understand that one at all. The Lions have looked really impressive, so that's just I'm taking them Lions money line, and if I lose, I lose. I don't care.
Right? No, I could see Lamar having a game, but there's just something missing from that Ravens team. It's just you watch it and you're like, this. I think Lamar's playing well. I think their defense is good. But there's something missing. It's like this unknown. It's not like something that is like, it's like this, like aura of their team that's missing a little bit, where the Lions just have it right now. And people are doing this Goff MVP thing. I'm not there yet, but yeah, I'm not there yet. But
NFL MVP is like an ugly topic right now,
right?
Because it's Tua, Brock Purdy, and Jared Goff. So nobody's talking about MVPs. We're like, everybody's super quiet.
Mahomes, and we all know it's going to be Mahomes.
I know,
but the thing is, yeah, exactly. So I think they're going to run the ball. I think Gibbs is going to come back. I think Gibbs is going to go off this week. I think he was starting to become a bigger part of that offense before he got hurt. They don't have Montgomery this week, if I'm not mistaken. So I just think the Lions are a little bit more. The Lions have much more of an identity, and the Ravens are trying to still create their identity.
Yeah,
and I think that's why I think the Lions money line. I'll take the 3 points too. That's fine. You want to take the 3 points? I understand that. You have Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker can score 3 points at any time. You want to make sure that you put a little insurance on that bet. I have no problem with that. I'm going to be an alpha and take the Lions money line though.
See, Diego is helping us out here, man, because David Montgomery's out. I don't know now.
I'm not worried about it. Put Amon
okay, all right.
Hand the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the backfield. I don't care. Just put him out there.
Gibbs is back. I don't know, man. Now I'm nervous.
Jameson Williams is back playing. He got a touchdown last week. I think their defense. I don't think Lamar's going to score on that defense that much. That's also what I'm.
Yeah, because we're forgetting that part. That defense is legit. Because you got to think about all the guys they drafted: Jack Campbell, Kirby Joseph at safety,
and they got clowned. They got clowned for those.
Aiden Hutchinson, man. Yeah. All the guys, Aleem McNeil from NC State.
They're the best against the run. They are the best defense this year against the run in EPA per play. I know that's not everybody's favorite stat, but they are the best in the league right now.
If the Raiders get a new GM, man, we got to hire whoever is the assistant general manager over there. We got to hire that guy. Whoever he is.
Chris Spielman's the GM, right?
No, it's Brad something.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Brad Holmes.
Yeah, that's right.
He cooks, man. He be cooking, bro.
No, of course he does. Yeah, of course he does. So yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. I did that. That's all I'm saying. I think you and I both like the Lions, even though I understand a little bit of the Ravens. I understand it, but I don't know.
Yeah, man. This is Diego's talking about Brian Branch too, man. Just to say he has killed the draft, bro. He has literally nailed it with the draft. So an interesting one I want to talk about. I mean, Falcon Bucks is kind of interesting too because I don't know, the Falcons, Desmond Ridder has been playing pretty bad, and I don't know how Baker Mayfield's good. Baker Mayfield has looked good 1 week, he looked terrible the next week, looked good 1 week, looked terrible the next week. So who knows with that one? I still think it hits the over on this one, but the Chiefs and Chargers, it's interesting because the Chiefs are so heavily favored.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Chargers cover that spread and lose in a classic Charger way.
Exactly.
Harrison Butker's 78-yard field goal to win the game. After they were stopped on their own 30-yard line, and then a 15-yard penalty puts them in what they think is field goal range. And then Harrison Butker sets the field goal record to beat the Chargers, but they cover, right? Like something like that. And then you're right about that Bucks game too. 37, like that's kind of a hater over.
Yeah.
The Raiders over under. These are starting quarterbacks that are playing in this game. The Raiders Bears over under is like 37. And I'm like. I also think that goes over as well, but I just mean the 37. I think. Did you hear that soundbite from Ritter this week? I
did not.
I do love that he knows he sucks. I do love. I love.
What did he say?
So they asked him after the game. They said, so on that one interception, he goes, which one? Like that. I don't know why that made me laugh. He just says, like, it's not like most quarterbacks are like, oh, yeah, that's the thing. Like, look, it's a miscommunication. He's like, which one are you talking about? Because I have a lot of thoughts, It's just like he knows it. He thinks he's Ryan Tannehill. It's just, I like it. I would just take the over in that game. Neither of those teams have beat anybody. And they're just ugly. It's just going to be a weird, gross, like AFC South or NFC South matchup. That division is terrible, but it's also like competitive, and I think just the over. I think there's gonna be some points in that game.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. All right, guys, we're gonna switch it up this week. We got something special for you guys. We got college lines this week. Because we got college lines this week. We're going college.
Yeah.
This is the best 4 games I could find. I just want to start at Duke, Florida State. I think that is the craziest spread I have seen for a ranked 18. I think they're ranked 18, I think.
Yeah.
Against a 4, and they're a -14. I mean, they
Yeah.
almost beat Notre Dame. I mean, that was a last-second game point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean they did, but their quarterback is not having the year he should be having. They did. That's a Sam Hartman issue. He's just Sam Hartman kind of turned back into a pumpkin a little bit,
Yeah.
unfortunately, for my guys. But the no, that game, I would lean the Florida State 14 points because you got to realize Florida State right now realizes they can get in the playoff. They can.
Okay.
They can. Keon, what's that guy's? Keon Coleman, monster. The big guy, pretty good player. The Johnny Wilson, I think is his name. The big 6'7" wide receiver, pretty good. Jared Verse, they have a lot of talent on that team, and I like it. Not something I'm going to take personally, but I will say that if you think Florida State's going to cover that game, you might as well take the over because it's really tough to not score 49 points when you win by 14 total in that game.
Yeah. I know. I feel like Duke plays pretty good defense.
Yeah, no, they do. It's the 14's high. I'm not taking it. I'm just saying, like, I think Florida State, if they get a lead,
high, man. That is high.
They're gonna dump on them. Like, is what I mean. Like, they're because they got to get in the playoff. The playoffs are wide open this year. The college football playoff is wide open.
Yeah.
So they can get in. I mean, they are. If the season ended today, they probably are in. But they know they're gonna eventually have to play Drake May for the conference championship. They know they're gonna have to. So they're right now they need to just roll these opponents. They seem pretty well coached, and they have a lot of talent at that school.
Yeah. Mike Norville's fighting the ghost of Deion Sanders.
Yes, he is.
So because the more he loses, Deion Sanders just floats over him. I'm going to take your job. I'm going to take your job.
Or that transfer portal. Even if I don't take your job, you're all your depth coming to Colorado next year. Yeah, that's really what he's fighting. Yeah,
I mean he's fighting because the more he loses, Deion's going to take your job. As soon as Florida State opens,
Deion needs to not lose. Deion needs to not give up, that lead to Stanford. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I don't know that we're there yet. But you're right. Like the transfer portal is what I'd be worried about because Deion knows all the Florida State recruits' parents' names, like first and last names already. You know what I mean? That's what he has to worry about. So yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. So the big game of the day, the biggest game of the day. Let's talk about this: Penn State at Ohio State, which is the big game. To be honest, in my opinion, I like Penn State in this one.
Yeah.
I think Penn State is a better football team. I don't think Ohio State is really that good. I know they barely beat Notre Dame, right?
They're not good.
But that was, they barely won that game. And I think Henderson might be back. I think Trayvon Henderson might be back for them, but I still think Penn State is on defense. They got the better quarterback. They just have a better football team. This will be about coaching to me. If James Franklin can't outcoach Ryan Day, right, then they're going to lose. But they have the better team. So they should, and I know it's going to be tough to go into Ohio State and win this football game, but even if you don't feel comfortable taking that plus 170 Penn State, I'm taking them with the +5. I think this game's going to be close. I'm also taking the over because I don't think this game's going to be 20-17. I think it's going to be like 35-31.
Okay, see, I'm taking the under, but I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be just one of those ugly. Ohio State's quarterback sucks. He is not good. That's the thing. Yeah. The reason I'm not high on Ohio State this year is they just don't have that quarterback this year. He's not good. I like Drew Allard a lot. I think he's going to eventually get some like Trevor Lawrence style hype as he gets, because he's a freshman right now or something.
Yeah.
He's a baller. And then they have that top tackle out there too, and a pretty good offensive line. I think that Ohio State's strength is their pass rush, it seems. And I think Penn State's got a pretty good O-line to stop that. I'm taking the 5 points. I don't think Penn State's going to win outright. I think it's going to be another one of those like 20-17 Ohio State ugly wins where they're still, for some reason, nobody like believes in them, but at the end of the day, no one beats them. That's still kind of how they are. And I think I could see a 20-17, even a 24-17 game, something like that. I'm there. I would take. I feel more confident about the under than anything, but I like Penn State getting 5.
Yeah, because to me, I mean, it's a big James Franklin game because James Franklin he has the better football team.
Take the 5 because he will trick you out of that money line.
Frankly, you have the better football team. You better win this damn game.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the better talent. I mean, they got a lot of freaks over there, especially on defense,
good, man.
right?
They are.
They're
good.
really damn good. And if he can't win this game, man, and the Ryan Day just owns him. Ryan Day should go on a speech and do like I don't know what he should do, but he should talk a bunch of shit after this if he could beat him with this team, especially with the quarterback that he has right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Tennessee at Bama is another one. Bama's kind of going off a little bit, so I kind of want to take Bama at 8.5 on this one. I just don't believe in Tennessee.
No,
Joe Milton's not he's not really looking like he was supposed to look, right? So I kind of want to take Bama on this one. Utah at USC. So we got a lot of USC and Utah fans, so this could be an interesting one to talk about because this would be a big game. USC has a big spread. They can't play defense with the shit at all. Duke's quarterback is injured. That's why it's so high. I guess that makes sense.
Well, then definitely the Florida State.
Minus 14 Florida State. We agree with that.
Hammer
it. Hammer the minus 14.
Hammer it.
Thank you, Salvador. All right. Utah at USC.
USC's
I haven't followed Utah this much this year. Go ahead, Glenn. But
I'm sorry, USC is favored by 6.5.
Yes, they are.
Game.
Yes,
no way. I think Utah money line plus 210.
You're taking it?
USC is soft.
Yeah, they are.
They're soft. Like first off, name a good defense this year that they've shredded. A good defense. It hasn't happened yet. What's the best defense in the Pac-12?
They almost lost to ASU, bro. They almost lost to Arizona State.
Show me the best defense in the Pac-12. Oh, they're playing them this week. Utah has given up 73 points all year, right? Something like that. It's crazy. They don't give up points. I know Utah hasn't played like the most great schedule. I understand that as well. Caleb Williams is good, but I think if he has a bad game in this game, the mock drafts look a little different. That's all I'm going to say. Like if he has another meltdown, I understand he's good. Look, I still take him number one because you just don't want to pass on that upside, but I just got to see it get done. I got to see you have that game in college. Like I got to see it. I know that, and look, I like the under because as big as TD said, the Utes can't play offense. I agree. I take the under. I don't think 52 is going to hit. I think it's going to be an ugly game. And I like Utah money line. Take the points if you're a beta. I understand it. Betas can win money sometimes. So yeah, take that. Yeah, I agree. And with you on Bama, I'm with you on Bama covering maybe the over in that as well. Yeah, because
I disagree with you, Caleb. I think Caleb's already done, man. I feel that he's solidified number one pick already.
What if he has? What if he throws another 3-pick game and his only two against his only two?
It doesn't matter. No,
really.
I think it's over. It's over for Drake May. Drake May would have to win the ACC and win the national championship and win the Heisman.
If Drake shreds Florida State in a conference championship game and Caleb hasn't
beaten anybody matter
this year, okay, all right.
Caleb Williams' buzz is so high, and the NFL's bought so into to whatever he's doing right now. Yeah. It doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah, Sean Payton is purposely trying to get him right now. So
they're going to take somebody's going to take him one. Hopefully, they have a plan for him. And,
I hope it's the Bears. I hope the Raiders aid the Bears this week in getting Caleb Williams because I don't want to do the Broncos.
Me too, but Drake May has no shot. He
okay. All right. I'm just
there might be some buzz. They're going to talk about after the draft, like maybe Drake May can go one. Like no way.
I'm just saying, if I watch junior colleges on the helmets of Caleb Williams' best games, I'll be like, damn, like wow, this is my number one. Look at my number one pick, dog. Like you know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. I just San Jose State Spartans. You know, like that's oh man, what a game.
All right, so do you got any questions this week, man? Everybody just making comments about what we're talking about. No questions.
Yeah.
We got any questions this week, man? Let me see.
No, it didn't seem like a lot of people. Let me watch UFC. I saw one guy ask a UFC question. I just don't watch UFC.
I haven't watched UFC in a while.
I know the lines are really off. Like I know the favorite is like that's the problem with some of those fights, man. It's like you bet the favorite like. It doesn't pay out a lot.
Who's fighting this week?
No idea. I'm just saying. I just know it was. I know it's. Isn't it like international or something? It's like an international event.
I don't know. Once Adesanya started losing, I was like, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that was. Yeah, I did see that fight.
Talk about shit, great. Man. You had me hype and you start losing.
No, no. That wasn't. That was bad.
You know, I don't know. You need some more. I don't know. I haven't gotten UFC in a minute. Y'all think McDaniels gets canned if he loses this one? Yeah, I mean, I would have canned him, but I don't know if he will. But I would. You can't lose this game, man.
What if they lose 24-10 tomorrow or on Sunday? Like 24-10
24-10
and it's 24-3 for most of the
No,
game.
no, you can't lose this game. I'm sorry.
I know. I agree. I agree. That's why I would fire him. And I think he does. Mark Davis, like I said, that WNBA title, those dance moves, you can laugh all you want at those dance moves, but that was the happiest I've ever seen that man. That was the happiest I ever saw. That guy was dancing for the WNBA title, and he was like, he needs to, the Raiders are his baby, though. Like they are. So it's like he might get a little, little overzealous, and in a good way.
So this is a good question, but I will say to this: I'll talk about this in the preview tomorrow when I do the run game. They like to run the ball out of a spread, and even with Tyson, the backup, they went pistol and they spread everybody out and they run the ball out of spread. They don't really go a lot of stack, like 13 personnel. So I mean, the Raiders aren't going to be able to get out of nickel. Amik Robinson and Tyler Hall have been playing pretty well there. Tyler Hall's been doing a pretty damn good job filling for Nate Hobbs. So I would expect him to be able to get in there and get physical and tackle. But man, it's more about Robert Spillane and Divine.
I know. That's the guy you signed. That's what you signed him for.
Spillane bothers me because for some reason he gets his rep as it's like this big, like strong guy, and maybe he just does a bunch of like trap stuff and like gets the trap stuff because he doesn't do arms. Because I always see him get dragged. I need you to stop getting dragged, my dude.
I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
Stop getting dragged.
I'm not a big spill guy. It's not my thing. I think the linebackers need to come out. Come on, guys. You guys are these linebackers. Come out, come downhill. I'm gonna say if Tyson Badgett, the first possession, throws one down the field over my head and scores a touchdown, fine. Not fine, but just like okay, that's not what you game plan for. What you game plan for is for them to try to pick you apart in that run game and be more physical with you. And the Bears have linemen out, right? Nate Davis, like these guys. You need to win. You need to win those battles. Like
they gotta win this game, bro.
Exactly.
They gotta win this damn game.
Right.
All right. That's really all I want to say about this one. They gotta win this damn game. So does this team make the playoffs? I mean, and we haven't played the Chiefs yet. We haven't played the Chiefs twice. No. So we got to play the Chiefs twice. We got the Lions. Who else do they got to play this
Dolphins.
year? Dolphins. Okay. They got to play the Dolphins. Still got to play the Jets.
But that's good, but it's not
6-3.
That's not a guaranteed loss.
It's not. No. It's not. Who else they got to play this year? What do they play in the other divisions? They play.
They have to play. So I know I'll tell you
Vikings.
Right now. Yeah. So they have the Vikings. They have the Giants.
Okay.
So those are winnable games. I'll say that much. Those are winnable games. We're not at that. We're not at that point. I know they play. We're not at that point to say that those are lock wins. Of course. I think they, Kansas City twice, right? So that's those are 4 games that we have there. Those. Yeah. Look. Go beat them. I mean, I'm just saying, like, go beat them. Like teams have beat Kansas City before. Like go beat them. You should win your next Charger game. I think you should. I think you have to. You should win your next Charger game. They get the Broncos again, right? Yep. So they get them again. And, I forget. I know they have a couple, like.
There's a shot, man. There really is. There really is. And it's funny if, like,
Brian they play Hoyer, the Colts. They play the Colts with Gardner Minshew. Hilarious
if Brian Hoyer gets teams like 9-8.
No, I mean, look. And they play, like I said right here, DJ put in the comments, they play the Colts. So it's like, that's a team without a starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like that, I'm just saying, like the schedule's not that bad.
It isn't.
It's not the gauntlet that other teams have. I know that's why I always laughed at the beginning of the year when people NFL hates the Raiders. Look at the schedule they got. Look, people get hurt, injuries happen in football, and now they don't play Aaron Rodgers this year. Nope. They don't play. I mean, Daniel, the Giants were a playoff team. The Vikings were a playoff team last year, so that's why the schedule looked just bad. They're bad. Those two teams are bad. So the NFL is so volatile. That's why we love it. So, And I will say what I love about this Raider team, my favorite thing about it is that there's young guys that we haven't seen that they have like they have traits and speed. Even Jacorian Bennett, who everybody hates right now. Yeah. But he's fast and he looks like he has maximum effort and looks like he could be a part of a coverage team. It looks like maybe not right now. And he's a 4th round pick and he shouldn't be part of it. On a good team, he should be a special teams guy right now. coming in next year on a good franchise. Even Tyree Wilson, fast, physical. I actually think the defense looks better with him out there. That's my hot take. I think the defense plays better while he's on the field.
Okay.
Not him. I just mean like the for some reason, a couple times he breaks free and like the quarterback's like, oh, who's this? What is this guy? Like, a couple times I've seen that happen. I think there's throughout the year you get the Michael Mayers, the Trey Tuckers come in, like they might grow a little bit as a team. And they had one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league as their starter. So the drop off is not bad. And who knows when they make that pivot? Maybe they're like the Niners and they pivot to Brock Purdy. They're Brock Purdy late in the year and it's Aiden O'Connell. Look, I don't want to make Raider fans more delusional than they are, but I'm not that down on this team.
See, the thing is it's all about Josh McDaniels. If Josh McDaniels is a halfway decent coach, then they can win some of these games and stay in the race. But if he is who we think he is, then no.
And I know we're over time here, but I have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
One more question.
All right.
Do you think there's a possibility that Mark Davis said, "You're on thin ice, pal," and then, which I think that happened objectively, but do you think that means McDaniels finally kind of dials back the ego and goes, I got to work with what I got, and the system is not the system?
I don't know. I don't know about that, man. I don't think McDaniels.
You're saving your job. So you think like I got to try anything.
So big though. So you got to. I agree. Huge ego. So I don't know if he's really going to be willing to change. I think he's going to be set in his ways to win. But to be honest, that's really what this is about. The Raiders have a pretty easy schedule going forward. They do. We talk about the teams that they should lose to, but there's a lot of teams that they should beat as well, right? Going forward. And it's really going to be about if they have decent coaching. I think on defense, we have already seen they have good coaching because defense, we can talk about the players they have. They don't have a lot of talent on defense.
I love Patrick Graham.
Right?
I'll
and for some reason,
I love him.
They're playing pretty damn good on defense, right? They're pretty damn good on defense. So we know we got good coaching over on that side. Do we have good coaching overall? Are they going to make the right decisions in situational football? It's those type of things with Josh McDaniels. And that's going to decide how good this team is going to be. Are we going to be 6-11 because he can't coach? Or are they going to find a way in a weaker AFC to get to 9-8 with the team that should be 9-8?
Yeah, right. So you have – so I will say what the Raiders have to be a Cinderella team, they have a number one wide receiver. They have a defensive player of the year candidate. They have this backup quarterback who might be better than the starter. Who knows what the ceiling is. And then I think they're well coached on defense and they have some young talent. So like that, you're right. It's McDaniels. I think you're exactly right. It's McDaniels. All I'm saying is perhaps if his job is on the line, perhaps in the situational and they have a kicker. They have a kicker who can ice games, who can finish games. So they have all those things. That is nice going that way. It's just about like the do the Adam Butlers and those guys to me too. Like do the Adam Butlers, the John Jenkins, do those guys stay healthy all year? Do those guys play that? They're right now. How much of a Cinderella are they on defense? Because right now I think Patrick Graham is calling a hell of a defense right now.
He is balling. Patrick Graham is balling right now.
Agreed.
He's balling. He's balling.
You got Justin Fields question right there.
Yeah. That's why I said let's finish on this one. Justin Fields question. I'm gonna say no because I watched Justin Fields on film this past game, and I still can't figure out why the hell he didn't throw one ball. It's like, bro, throw the damn football. And he's just a little broken, man. He's a little broken.
It's weird watching Stroud because you want to get lazy as I did with watching Stroud and going like, okay, but Stroud has a plan and gets rid of the ball and is well coached. I think that Bobby Slowick guy, that PFF thing, like unfortunately for us, PFF might have got something right there and might have put a good coach in the league there. But that Bobby Slowick guy's got him going. But it makes Justin Fields look even worse when you're like, wait, this Ohio State guy came from that Ryan Day offense, and then you and rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins were kind of slow processors. Yeah. So it's maybe, but I will say this: he does intrigue me, and with a Josh Jacobs, with a Devontae Adams, with the big arm, it does. Here's the problem: quarterback contracts right now are insane, and the reason the Bears are even going to get rid of him in the first place is because their roster's not very good, and they can just start the clock over.
Exactly.
And rookie contract, they get 5 more years to build around whoever they pick at number 1, and they pay a tenth of the salary of what Justin Fields is going to get. So if the Raiders were to have traded for him, they'd have to give up a decent pick. I think he'd go for like a 2nd or a 3rd round pick because he's young, big arm, talented. There's always going to be a coach that's going to say, I can fix him.
I can fix him.
It's going to be like one of those like reality TV women that like is in like a million, they'll be like, but she's got something. Like they're going to say that. And somebody's going to want to fix him because he's big, strong, fast. Maybe they'll get him to eat a steak every once in a while or something. But you have to pay him. And you're going to have to pay him like $50 million.
Exactly.
And I don't do that. That's where Shark Tank, I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
No, no Justin Fields for me, man. If they get traded for somebody, I don't know. I don't know who they would trade for that's young right now out there in the NFL. If they need to trade up.
You know what I mean? In the draft, if you strike out, go get Kirk Cousins for a year. It's fine. That's all.
I take Kirk, man, for a year.
He's not a bad quarterback.
I know Kirk's not bad. He would just frustrate the hell out.
He puts up like 28 a game.
It's like Derek Carr.
Yeah. No, I
used to hate those comparisons, but like, I mean, he's like I think Carr is like a little better than him, but it's just they frustrate the hell out of you.
I think Kirk's
like they're good quarterbacks. It's just frustrating. Like, bro, why did you do that?
I know
that type of thing. You know,
I'm just saying if you got no options, don't do Jimmy G. Go get Kirk Cousins. People that think Jimmy and Kirk are the same are insane. Kirk is twice as good as Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you strike out next year, go trade for Kirk Cousins. It's fine. I will be okay with it. It'll keep everything in order. That's all I'm saying.
He could throw to Adams, basically. He definitely could throw to Adams, and Adams would be super happy. You know, Kirk is just it would just be, it would just be that one frustrating thing. It would be like Derek Carr. He'll be balling. He'll have 300 yards, and it'll just be one stupid thing in that game.
But I will say, this is the first year that I believe right now, the first year where I truly believe the Raiders are a quarterback away, like from being really good. Really good. I didn't feel that way a couple years ago when they had, like the Zay Jones at wide receiver and stuff. I didn't feel that way. They have weapons everywhere. This is a perfect spot for a rookie quarterback. The only problem is the coach. But if you're trading up for the draft, I think it's because you probably have a new coach.
Exactly.
So I do think right now they do need to get aggressive in the draft. Do whatever it takes. I don't care how many first round picks. Go get the guy.
Exactly. All right, Glenn. Let's get out of here, man. We're on an hour 15.
Yeah, happy Friday, Raider Nation. Let's go get a win.
Happy Friday. Get your college lines going, guys. Hopefully we win some college money tomorrow. I'm hoping to win something tomorrow. Definitely. I struck out last week. I was pretty pissed. I forgot who messed me over. I think it was, I don't know. I forgot who it was, but it was pissed me off. Hopefully, I thank you guys for joining us. We got up to 70 today, so I really appreciate it. A lot of questions. A lot of interaction. Appreciate you guys coming and joining us every week and chilling with us. Ready to keep this going. Of course, check us out next week. Let us know how we did, how we're doing. If you guys take some of the bets, I know, like I said, we got some of the Michael Mayer feedback. People really appreciated that. So, like I said, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, of course. And we're out of here. Peace, guys.
All right, guys.